without further ado, we're going to introduce a very good friend of mine. I'm super pumped that he's here. He's going to share some really awesome stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jack Allen.
I feel like I ought to be in MMA or something. You know, a lot of times I feel pretty good about working out, and then I can stand next to Matt. Damn, what's with this guy? How many of you would like to make more money this year than you did last year? Okay, so that's about half the room's lying. If you'll connect with me on your little LinkedIn thingamajig, I will be thrilled. I'm going to just go back and I'm going to look at who connected with me tonight, and apparently I can see that, and I'll get a copy of my book in your hands. Fair enough? That's your reward for coming in here and doing networking. Because, you know, there's the next question. How many people would like to have more fun this year than they had last year? Now, see, everybody wants to do that. How many of you realize that if you make more money next year, you will have more fun next year? 3 people went, really? Well, really what you'll have is you'll have more choices. But now here's what happens. We have this great idea. Like, this is going to be the year. This is the idea. Finally that wonky relationship's going to get straightened out. Finally my health's going to get where I want it to be instead of where I don't want it to be. This is the year my career's going to take off. This is the year I'm going to start finally getting out of debt, building wealth, all those things in life that we want. And everybody has those ideas, usually in the shower. Why is it in the shower? Does anyone know? I spent 12 years studying neuroscience to find out why the hell do I have good ideas in the shower and nowhere else? Yes?
Soothing sound of water.
The soothing sound of water. That's not too far from the truth. What it does is it takes your brain and it puts it into a place you know as joy. All your brilliant ideas, all your best problem solving comes from a place of joy. Now, does anybody know what the other emotions are? Sadness, fear, anger, disgust. You know those, right? We're all around. You can't solve problems creatively when you're in those negative states. So why do we have those negative emotions? Well, pretty much it's to prove to you that you're sane. Because crazy people, they don't have fear and disgust and sadness and some of those things. They have no limits at all. But here's what happens to us. You think I'm going to spill this water, so I'm going to put it down. Alright, here's what happens to us. We have a brilliant idea, and the next thing is the inner critic starts to talk. Raise your hand if you've met your inner critic. The one that says, who the hell do you think you are? From your family? With the you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're not enough. God doesn't really like you. Nobody really likes you. You can't afford it. Are you recording me? Good, send me a copy. We'll both know if I was any good. We all have this. And really, what is the reason for that? As best I can tell, the reason for these negative emotions, they attach themselves to our ideas to keep us on track. Our brains are built to spend no more than 90 seconds in that negative state. Anything more than that begins to poison you. So they're there to tell you to get the hell out of there. But most of us don't know that. And so we spend our time with the perception that we're not good enough, we don't have enough, or, my favorite, I'm just not lucky, which is impossible to prove and therefore takes a lot of people off track. But what happens to us is this. We have a brilliant idea, the critic starts to talk, and it pulls us away from achieving the idea. And the reason for that is because we start to believe the critic. Because here's one thing I've learned, the most amazing thing I've learned in the last 20 years. In your brain and mine and every other human you know, A belief is the same as a decision, is the same as an action. The moment you believe something, your body accepts chemicals from your brain that cause it to act in the direction of that belief. So if you believe, if you have a brilliant idea, the next great thing that our country really needs, and your critic starts telling you you're not good enough, and you believe that, your body will accept chemicals and start acting in the direction to prove you're not good enough. Isn't that awful? Would you like to shut up the inner critic? The answer is yes. And this is what's really cool. You can. You can train yourself to either accept everything that the inner critic tells you and therefore then go and not have the life that you really wanted, or you can learn to shut up the inner critic, move them out of the way, which frees you up to get exactly what you want out of life. Wouldn't that be wonderful? That's what I wrote the book on. That's what mindset for success really is. It's not mindset to make you a millionaire, although it worked for me. But I'll tell you what real success is. Real success is when you look at your life and you say, I've got the health I want. I've got the relationships I want. I'm building the wealth I want. I have the career I enjoy every day. Doesn't that sound good? Let's add one more, because this is the one that drives everything else. I have the spiritual life I want. There's an interesting thing. A guy is trying to get across a big chasm. There's a bridge. And he goes up there, and there's, it's this typical little thing, right? The old hobbit standing there. It says, in order to get across the bridge, you've got to pick up these bags. And you've got to carry them across the bridge. So they look at the bag, and one is labeled wealth. You're like, well, that's the one I want. I want to take the money and go on the other side. How many of us would have picked up that bag first? Of course. The other ones are relationships and health and spirit. And he picks up the bag, and he gets about halfway across, and the wind starts to blow, and the bag's heavy. It's full of gold, and it knocks him off, and he falls down. Next person walks up, and they say, well, it's relationships. It's got to be relationships. Picks up relationships, but how many of us have had relationships that after a period of time, they get a little heavy? Right. Falls to the ground. The last person that comes up, young lady, about like Catherine. She says, there's only one left. It's the spiritual bag. I guess I'll take that. But it doesn't look like a bag. It looks like a long thing. She pulls it out, and sure enough, what it is a long pole. And as soon as she takes it out of the package, 4 new bags appear with health and career and relationships. All of these things. She puts the pole on her shoulders, the bags, 2 on each end, walks across, perfectly balanced. It's the only thing that will carry all the others. Your health won't carry your relationships. Your relationships won't carry your health. Your career may or may not build wealth. Would you agree? If you don't, let's talk later. I'd love to have a conversation with you on any of these things that I'm bringing to your attention today. Now let's take it from all of that to the place we are today of networking. Networking is the thing that everybody knows they should do and nobody wants to do. I mean, really, the only people who really love going to networking events, probably something else wrong. I mean, come on. Because why do we want to go? We've got to show up and tell a story. And what do we think? It's like, what if they don't like me? Because we're all afraid of the same thing in a networking. We're going to say it wrong, and they're going to reject us. And so nobody likes this stuff. And the worst thing in the world is if you go to the networking event and the pitchy guy comes get you. You know that? You know what I'm talking about? As soon as they walk, hi, I'm Jack, and guess what I do? I've got that. And you're thinking, I don't know if you're going to wash my car or fix the plumb. I don't know, but I don't want it. No. I want to fix that for you immediately. Let's fix that right now. Here's the way to go to a networking event. Have a conversation with human beings. And just say, hey, tell me your name, ma'am.
Cassie.
Cassie?
Yeah.
Did you connect with me on LinkedIn? Did you push the button? I'm so happy. Cassie and I are connected. Cassie, what's the biggest struggle that you have in your career?
Right now, it's just connecting with people. I'm a recruiter, so everyone wants to just sort of ask me for a job. That's really what I'm dealing with right now. So that's the hardest part. It's just connecting with people because they want something. They've always asked instead of just connecting them at a level.
So your biggest problem is that everybody just wants something out of you.
Yeah.
Damn, girl. That doesn't sound terrible. No, I know. I understand completely. All right, now, because I know that about her now, what am I going to make dead-gum sure I don't do? Ask for something from her. Instead, what I want to say to you is, you're a recruiter in Austin. Oh my, you hit the lottery. No, really. But if I was in a position where I could, I don't know, help you some way. I'm not. I can't. What you do, I got nothing. But if I did, and we had a conversation as humans, and I'm in that place of joy, where I solve problems, and I heard her problem, and I could help her with it, I would say, oh, Cassie, I can help you with that, or I know someone who can. Now I'm not asking, I'm giving. Wouldn't that be lovely? Did you know her before now?
I did.
I thought maybe he was trying to get a date. It's what everybody else thought too. We just, it's okay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Tim, aren't you taken? Oh, yeah.
So that's how you do a networking event. That's how it goes from this place of fear to a place of joy. Because here's the thing you may not realize. Everybody on this planet that has a job for one reason. Solve a problem. Your job is to solve problems. Did you say that already? If you did, you have to come here. Come on. To pay bills? Oh, you have a job to pay bills. No. We need to talk. No, the reason you have a job is to solve problems. The reason my plumber makes more than my lawyer is because my plumber solves bigger problems. The bigger problem you solve, the more you get paid. And all problem solving, all good problem solving, I mean, you can solve some problems from just brute force, but they don't tend to stay solved, they don't tend to elevate people around you. That's not the way you want to do it. The real good problem solving comes from this place of joy. So what do you want to do to get everything you want in life? You want to spend more time in joy. You want to learn how to take yourself from a place of misery, of fear and anxiety and sadness and all that stuff that all of us deal with, some more than others, but all of us deal with. And you want to be able to, in 90 seconds, pull yourself into a place of joy. Because that's where you're going to solve problems. Now from here, this has been so, and it's been fun. I mean, really, seriously, let's give a hand to the people who put this together. Because now, what I want you to do is just have, how long do we have? A half hour or so? 20 minutes? I don't know, what time is it? 7:30. Well, what am I talking about? You got 3 hours, huh? Anybody here got a bedtime? But you do whatever you want to do. But the point is, start having conversations with one another to see, what are some challenges in your life? Where can I be helpful to you? Instead of, what do you do for a living? Which is the usual question. And I understand that question. That's what we're trying to ask. Let's ask a more human question. How can I know you better today? And what might I be able to do to help you? Sound good? Sound like fun? Rock on.